Hello and welcome back to the Private Label Masters YouTube channel. My name is Tim, and if you're new here, we talk everything Amazon Private Label. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can know exactly when these videos come out. So today we're going to talk about an issue that every single seller has. The largest of all sellers, the smallest of all sellers. We come against this same one issue, and I'm going to tell you one way that can help you solve this, all right? Now, every single person, every single Amazon seller wants to scale their business. In other words, grow it to new heights, new profit amounts every single month. And the only way you can do that is by adding more products, all right? So the person with one product, you know what they want? They want 2 products. The person with 10 products, they want 20 products. And the person with over 100 products like me, we want more products too. And one of the difficulties with scale at the beginning is you're missing a couple things. Usually you don't have the knowledge and the understanding, and you haven't applied anything. But after you have learned the business model, you've applied it, maybe you've launched 1 or more products, you're starting to feel comfortable, some confidence is building, you're ready to hit the ground and launch some more products. The number one thing that every single Amazon seller runs into that really is a blockage when it comes to scaling their Amazon business, one word: cash flow. Cash flow. You got it. And the reason cash is so important in this business is because it's a physical products business. You actually have to buy inventory. Now, a lot of people out there say things such as, you can get started with Amazon private label for just $500, $200. I'm here to tell you that I promise you, you try to start your Amazon business with $200, it'll last probably less than the length of this video, right? So don't do that. You need some money to be able to fund products. And the reason is, I'm going to tell you kind of like how it works, okay? You have your capital saved up or access to capital. It's time to buy a product. So what typically works is after you've talked to a supplier overseas, you'll put down a 30% down payment. This will initiate the order process and they will start producing, all right? You put a little skin in the game, that 30%, and they're willing to produce everything for you. Now you're left with 70% remaining balance. And typically how that works is you will pay that after production ends, okay? So before the supplier ships your product, you will then pay that remaining 70%. So most orders take around a month to produce, then you're going to pay that 70%. Now think about that for a moment. You have just locked up X amount of cash. Let's say your order was $5,000, all right? You put in that first 30%, then you put in that 70% after production was done about 30 days later. Now that's all locked up, okay? It's not in the bank. It is no longer liquid for you. It is locked up now in inventory that you can't even touch. Now, if you're shipping C, that's another 30 days, right? And then after the 30 days, then you start selling it on Amazon. And then Amazon only pays every 2 weeks typically for most accounts. Now, there's some new accounts that allow you to hit the pay now button every single day, which is pretty nice, but most accounts is 2 weeks. So think of how long of a period that is, right? That you're without the cash. Now, here's the next thing that happens is after you start selling, well, you have to do a reorder, right? Because you don't want to run out of stock. It's not like, oh, all the products sold. Now I'm going to think about doing my reorder. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Now I'm going to do that. No, because that's 30 days of production, then probably 30 days shipping time. You've been out of stock 2 months. Competition comes in, eats the entire niche, and you're out, right? So you have to stay in stock. So you're starting to see how a cash flow crunch starts to happen. Money goes in, right? It's locked up as it gets shipped. It starts selling. Then you start to recoup some of that, but you have to put the next reorder in before you even get all the money back out of your orders. And that's just if you want 1 product. Now, if you want 2 products, 3 products, 4 products, you see what makes this whole thing go round? Cash. And it doesn't matter if you have over 150 products like me or if you have 1 product. We all run into this issue when we are looking to scale our business. So there's many different ways to solve this issue, all right? But in today's video, I'm going to talk about one key one, And this is one that many people don't talk about, many people don't even use, many people, especially new sellers, don't even know it's possible, okay? And I've seen this to help me scale my business to extreme heights just by leveraging this one thing. The one thing is negotiating your payment terms. Now, if you recall at the beginning of this video, I stated how most payment terms work. After you place your order, 30% goes down. After they've produced it, about a month goes by, then you pay the 70% before it ships. Now, I want to tell you that there's layers to this, okay? I would say there's layers to anything out there that has some type of skill to it, all right? There's like, if you play an instrument, there's the person who just plays, let's say they're playing piano, and they can play like the main sets of keys, and then they're playing chords, and then they're playing like all these different things, right? And then it's just like layers and layers and layers and layers until they're hitting like this crazy layer that the new person doesn't even know exists, right? But once they're at there, they have a real advantage. So that's how it is in the entire aspect, in every aspect of the Amazon business model, okay? We're going to talk about just one aspect in one small part of it, all right? We're talking about sourcing and your payment terms, hoping to solve that issue, which is cash flow when it comes to scaling your business. Now, the second layer of payment terms, we talked about 30% as the down payment, then a 70% before it ships. The next level that you can negotiate with a supplier is 30% down, and then that 70% before telex release. And what that means is before it arrives in the port in whatever country you're shipping to. So let's say the US. So what that does is it extends the amount of time that you have money in your hand. All right, it extends the amount of time. So you put in the 30%, a month goes by, then it ships. You still haven't paid the 70%. It's still in your pocket, right? No worries. And then another 3 weeks go by, and then before it arrives in the port in the US, let's say, then you make the 70% balance payment. So why does that help? It buys you time, okay? So imagine on your first order, you are starting to recoup some money, and you realize, man, I need to put in the second order, but I don't have the money for the full second order, all right? And I'm not going to have it in a month. However, in a month and 3 weeks, I can have it at the pace I'm selling at. So when you buy yourself that extra maybe 3 weeks of time, you see how it can help you, all right? Instead of you saying, no, I got to wait until more of these sell to get more money back before I can place that reorder because I couldn't pay for it in a month. You're saying, I don't have just a month now. I only have to put the 30% up now. And then at approximately 6 to 7 weeks from now, that's when I have to come up with the 70%. So more of your inventory sells, which builds up the bank account, which then allows you to make payment, and you're good to go. All right, so I would say that's level 2, and a lot of Amazon sellers are aware that that's possible, okay? But there's other levels. You're like, well, Tim, what other levels are there? Well, let me tell you some other levels. So the higher levels usually don't come about when you just have one product. Sometimes if you've built a really good relationship with your supplier, you can get to these higher levels of better payment terms. Well, what does the higher level of better payment terms look like? Well, let me explain the large majority of what my payment terms look like now. 30% down payment when we place an order. And then the remaining 70%, not before it ships, not before it arrives in the US port, but 60 days after it's in the United States. 60 days after it's in the United States. You know what that means? That means in a lot of situations, in a lot of scenarios, I can sell all the inventory, have it already back in the bank account, and then be paying suppliers. So before the money is even due, I've already sold all the inventory. Do you see how that level of a payment term can change your whole business when it comes to scaling to higher levels? You don't have to pay the supplier until after you've sold all your items. That's crazy. But I'm telling you, that's very much possible because that's what we have on the large majority of our suppliers in my account. But there's even higher levels than that. You can get to a point where you have built such trust confidence and a good relationship with your supplier that they won't even charge you the deposit. They'll only say, hey, you know what, after 90 days, send us payment, because they've built that kind of trust, and they know that this is what's going to help you to build your business, which helps them also. So, are you dealing with cash flow issues? Are you thinking about, even right now, are you thinking, well, even if I wanted to get started on Amazon, I can only go so far because I only have X amount in the bank? Well, you can see how after you get going, and this is kind of how Amazon works. It's like after you get going and rolling, other doors of opportunity just start opening. It's like when you first come to market with your product, you have no reviews. It's a little hard to get a little bit of traction, but then you start getting your first set. All right, you got 5, 10, you're starting to chug along, 50. Now the customer is really starting to trust your product. And through that momentum, you got better keyword rankings, right? And it's like this huge flywheel that starts just rolling. And now all of a sudden, you got a lot of reviews, you got tons of organic keyword rankings, and you're getting a ton of sales. It didn't start out like that. But if you could think far enough ahead of what the potential could be, you could see the excitement of what is possible. The same thing goes with this one simple issue that you may be worried about right now, that I was worried about, that was really hindering my progress in my business of trying to scale it. And that was, where do I come up with the money to get more products? Because I need more products in order to make more money. Payment terms. You need better payment terms. And the way you get better payment terms, I'm going to tell you right now, is by building trust with your supplier, right? Paying on time when they ask you, knowing them, building that guanxi, that good relationship with them. And as you do that over time, you'll start to see that you can negotiate your payment terms. So let me give you an example. Let's say you first go to order your first product, and you want to see like where are they at, like payment term wise. And almost all of them, especially if you're doing a smaller order, they'll always want that 30% up front and then that 70% balance payment before it ships, right? But sometimes on the initial order, you can negotiate that 70% balance payment before it arrives in the US, right? So that's kind of like at the beginning, you kind of negotiate, you kind of feel it out, and then you get your starting point. That's your starting point, with your ultimate goal to get those payment terms where you don't have to pay things or pay the balance off until you made all those sales. And that's your goal. Now, what I found for myself is that this does take some time and some relationship building. And it also helps if you get one of your suppliers to agree to this. Let me tell you an example. I had quite a few suppliers, and I was trying to negotiate this. I was like, hey, I'm a good business partner. You've seen, look at how much business. I'm probably one of your top now in your entire factory. Here's what's going to help me grow. And they're like, yeah, but that's a lot of trust. That's a lot of risk. You have all the products. We don't have any money. If you don't pay us, like, what do we do? I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I rely on you for my brand, but you rely on me too. And if you want to grow, this is what we got to work out. I kept saying no. Finally, I convinced one of them. To go along with these payment terms. And then you know what I did? I leveraged that one with the other suppliers. I said, hey, you know what would do me a huge favor? I got another supplier that I work with. Totally different niche. Not a competitor of yours. Nothing like that. You're my guy or you're my girl for this product. But I'm having difficulty rearranging my payment terms, and it would do me a huge favor if I could use you as a reference. Could you talk to them and tell them how great of a client I am? Yeah, Tim, let's do that. For sure, I got you. All right. Makes the call. They say, okay, Tim will do it. All right. They do it. Well, now I'm trying to get the other ones that are a little harder. But guess what? Now I got 2 references. You see how it works? See, these are the types of things that advanced sellers have done in their business. That those who probably don't know much about Amazon selling or trying to do it on their own don't even know exist or how to do them. If you go out there and you say, I'm just gonna kill it on Amazon by myself, you might get a product launch and you might get somewhere. But would you even know all these payment terms exist? Would you know how to negotiate them? Would you know like what the different levels are? Would you know like that these higher levels even exist? Would you have the idea of how to get them? Probably not. All right. But this is just one small thing. that solves a huge problem. And I've seen students in our group who have been able to use this method, and they've been able to work out these new supplier payment terms and have been able to double, sometimes triple their business without having to have any more capital, just because they're able to space it out further, sell their products before they have to pay it. Now, again, this is more of an advanced tactic. This isn't something you're going to get on your very first order, but I just want to put this in your head of how there are levels to this game, and there are ways that you can really build your business, even if you feel like I'm limited on capital. That if you build that trust, even if you only have one or two products, you build that trust with your supplier, and they can trust you and they're confident in you, then you can work out something like these terms. And next thing you know, your product portfolio went from 4 products to 8 products or 10 products without you having to come up with any more money. The cash flow issue or blockage in your business has been solved. You've doubled or tripled your business without having to come out any more money in your pocket just because you implemented this one thing. Are you interested in knowing more expert tips like this to help you grow and scale your Amazon business by an expert? There's a link in the description to get access and learn more about what we do here at the Private Label Masters team, all right? Stay tuned. If you like this video, leave a comment, give me some feedback down below. Had you ever heard about these different payment terms? If you have, awesome. If you haven't, I hope that helps you out. It gives you a glimpse of what's possible in the future. It helps uncover a rock that you didn't even know was there and lets you find a little bit of gold. Stay tuned to the channel. We have more excellent content coming for you guys that's going to help you guys not be an average Amazon seller, but a master Amazon seller. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.